What's up, friends, and welcome back to another little weekly vlog. It is currently 12:56 on a Monday. I got a workout in early this morning, and ever since then I have pretty much been just working on content, reels, and shorts. And later today I need to work on actually my last YouTube video, but I leave Mondays pretty open for that kind of thing, just to do admin, back end, like content creation. And then later in the week is when I take the vast majority of my client calls. It just helps me stay nice and organized. But I will say this week as a whole is actually a bit more heavy on the content creation kind of planning side of things, fewer client meetings, which works out kind of nicely as we're approaching the holidays and just going to be taking a little bit of time with family and wanting to get organized and all of that good stuff. But I'm about to have lunch, and so I figured it was a good time to kind of pop in and show you what I'm having, because this is so yummy and it's so simple. It is stupid. So under the lettuce, I have some white rice. Here I have some whole shredded chicken. I have been really trying to make a point of eating more, let's say, sources of gelatin and collagen with my muscle meats. And this can be as simple as eating a whole roast. So roasting whole cuts of meat that have more connective tissue, bones, skin. So those amino acids that are more unique to the connective tissue, bones, and skin can seep throughout the meat as you're cooking them. Or if you're doing more things like ground beef, which we do all the time, literally gonna be doing that for dinner, or chicken breasts or thighs that are like separated from those connective tissue pieces, you can add in things like bone broth, like gelatin, like collagen, to get that diverse and comprehensive amino acid profile. Because those muscle meats on their own, while they are phenomenal sources of protein and have lots of amino acids in them, they do not have adequate levels of all the amino acids. And when we are only eating a lot of that but not eating a lot of the other amino acids, it can actually lead to imbalance, which can exacerbate things like inflammation, thyroid problems, hormone production, all of that. So just another step in my own health that I'm taking to try and move the needle forwards. Long way of saying I have some shredded whole chicken here in my bowl. I have a bunch of romaine lettuce, which just makes it so crispy and yummy and filling, and then some homemade ranch dressing. And I have to tell you, this recipe, it's so simple. It is silly that we buy ranch dressing at the store. It is 1 part mayonnaise. I use my homemade avocado oil mayonnaise. That recipe is in basics. I suppose you could also buy like a PUFA aware avocado or olive oil mayonnaise at the store. So 1 part of that, 1 part of Greek yogurt, 1 part of raw milk. You could use regular milk, whatever you have on hand. And then I just season it with salt, pepper, garlic powder, dill, a splash of white vinegar. And if you have pickle juice, this is a really easy way to make it extra yummy and use up some of that pickle juice. I use a generous splash of that pickle juice as well, or instead of the vinegar. You just gotta mix it together, taste it until it's right. I guess ranch probably technically has like chives and onions in it as well. I didn't have any dried chives or onions, so I didn't use that, but it works out deliciously, and it makes a simple meal like this taste fancy and just kind of takes it to the next level. So I'm gonna enjoy this, and then I wanted to bring out along, I just got another batch of hair tests in the mail from Trace Elements. Trace Elements, I need to slow down, I can talk. Trace Elements is the lab that processes or does all of my hair tests. They are truly the best. They don't wash the hair, and they go above and beyond when it comes to making sure to maintain the integrity of the sample and assessing everything accurately. So I love them. But anyways, I have a few of these test kits that I need to put together, and I'll show you how I do that. I already got all the tests out to my beta clients, and I'm in the process of kind of going through those test results. But I also opened the doors up for a few more of my existing clients to add HTMA to what they were already doing. So I think I have 3 today that I need to get out, and I will be offering HTMA to everybody starting with the new year. You can actually go ahead and get on the wait list, and we can kind of get the ball rolling. So if that's something you're interested in, don't hesitate to shoot me an email. Email address is down in the description box, but it's just sally@rizanutrition.com is the one for this kind of inquiry. Enough of me talking. I'm hungry. If you can't tell by my excitement and need to eat. So I'm gonna eat, and then we'll check back in as I am putting these together. That felt so good to get out in the sunshine. I think I mentioned this in last week's vlog, but for the whole past week, it has been not just overcast, but like densely foggy. And I'm not gonna lie, it has had me feeling a little bit depresso. I'm definitely one who is prone to some of that seasonal depression, seasonal sadness. And I know the answer is to get outside every day, regardless, especially in the mornings, really take care of that circadian rhythm, to make sure you're active, which we do a good job of. Just make sure you're eating nourishing food, focusing on things like raw milk, cod liver oil, naturally vitamin C containing foods, all the things. But regardless, it's still hard. I just love the sunshine and I don't mind it being cold. It's just when it gets dark so early in the day. So anyway, when it's really foggy like that and when it's just dark all day long as well, it kind of compounds. So I feel so grateful for the sunshine. And that was just really lovely. But another thing that we've been doing, which I thought was worth mentioning, with the days being shorter and with, it being cold outside and it being a little bit harder to like maybe motivate oneself to be outside for a long period of time each day, is we have started swimming just for this month. We're gonna try it out. I have mixed feelings about this because I really do not like the idea of submerging my body in chlorine water, even though I grew up swimming, even though I'm grateful for that. Like, I'm so grateful to be a really strong swimmer. Just knowing how chlorine displaces iodine and other things about like cancer risk and chlorine. I don't love that, but going after dark, like when the sun has already set, given that the sun's setting like at 5, or even a little bit earlier here, has been really nice to have something active to do. Can go swim. They have a nice sauna there that we can sit in. So anyways, that's been good. I'm just trying to, do what I can to protect myself from the chlorine, making sure I'm getting lots of iodine in my diet. And then I haven't done this yet, but I want to get some vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is not good to ingest in terms of vitamin C. It's actually like really not ideal. But when you put it on your skin, if you dissolve it in water and spray it on your skin before and after swimming, it can actually help prevent chlorine from, like, it can neutralize it, I think. That may not be the right word, but it can be helpful in protecting your thyroid, protecting your iodine levels and all of that. So we are gonna go swimming this evening. I don't know if I'll be able to film any of that. I can try to get a little clip on my phone, but we're definitely not allowed to have cameras in there. So I think that's good. It's only like the second week we're doing it, but I think it's good to have that to do like in the evenings. Again, after the sun has set, it's a little bit more active. This all started because after our marathon, Samuel's knee has been bothering him and he hasn't been running. So this is kind of a way to get that cardio in, but I think it has the added benefit of like providing that activity for once the sun has gone down, but we aren't necessarily ready to just like totally be done for the day, because I am all about slowing down in the wintertime. I think that's really big, is just embracing each season and slowing down at this time of year. But when the sun rises like between 8 and 9 and sets at like 5 o'clock, that's not a lot of day that you're working with. And it's just, I think we both are itching to like move our bodies, have things to do. Obviously like social engagements are great, but that's also really nice to have to do when it's not a night where we have a social engagement or when we just want to move our bodies again. Okay, I sound like a broken record. This is my little makeshift packing station on this coffee table in my office, but each of the HTMA test kits gets an instruction sheet. It gets this HTMA submittal form, which I'll fill out part of, and then the client fills out part of. We have the envelopes for the hair sample itself. This is a scale that helps you to make sure that you get the right amount of hair for the sample. And then you just get, it's super easy. You get a pre-addressed, pre-stamped, I'll put a stamp on it before I send it, envelope, which you put your sample in, along with your submittal form. And then you just mail it right into the lab. And I get the test results as soon as they come in, ready to be interpreted. And then you and I, the client and I set up our meeting and go from there. But I'm I'm going to go ahead and pack these, and then I'm actually gonna hop in the car because one of my clients is also a friend who lives just on the other side of town, so I figure I'll just drive over and drop this off for her in her mailbox instead of mailing it to her, because that doesn't actually make any sense. I've got to confess, I'm a hardcore Taylor Swift fan, and that might be divisive, but I have been since I was 6 years old, and my best friend Nidhi and I would choreograph dances to Speak Now and perform them for our whole family, both of our families, to see. And I just have so much respect for her as a businesswoman. It's actually insane. Like, I feel like regardless of what you want to say about Taylor Swift and her music, whether you like it, any of that, like, as a businesswoman, this lady's just crazy, and so much respect for that. But anyway, I'm back home. I'm going to put some bone broth on, get a fresh batch going, and then just finish up odds and ends that I have to get done today. Tuesday. If you wonder what this brown stuff is on my face, it is this plumping mask that I'm currently doing from Primarily Pure. This is so luxurious. It smells phenomenal. I do it usually a couple times a week, just to give my skin a little extra TLC. It's kind of a weird time to be getting ready right now. We're doing this, I guess. It's about noon. What time is it? Yeah, it's 11:45. We had an early workout this morning. Samuel was filming with a friend, so we got out the door, got that workout in, and then he had a meeting at Push and Pour, which is what you saw before this. It's a coffee shop near us, and I had the option of just kind of going along and sitting and having coffee and getting some work done there, which I decided to do. I'm actually trying to work from a coffee shop one day a week. Right now, that's another thing that I think really helps in these darker months. I mean, honestly, all the time when you're working from home, but especially in the darker months, I think it really helps to get out and be in a social environment, and not be so isolated, even if you're not like actively talking to anybody other than like the barista or those like little exchanges. I think it just helps so much to be out in the world. I know this looks so funny. But yeah, just to be out in the world and interacting with people, especially at this time of year. So all that goes to say, I jumped on the opportunity to go get that work in at a coffee shop. Just did some editing, saw the cutest dog. I am such a fan of really massive dogs. And that Mastiff that you saw was just incredible. So anyway, I'm back and want to properly get ready for the day. I think that it's really worth it to me, even if I'm not necessarily going anywhere or seeing anybody, to take the time to like get fully ready, because it just makes me feel so much more alive and so much happier and more productive, again, especially in these shorter days. So that's what we're doing. Once I'm ready, probably gonna have some quiet time because I didn't even do that this morning as we were running out the door. Just get some chores done, finish up some work. I don't know that today is gonna be like the most crazy interesting day, but we'll get some cleaning done. Maybe that can provide a little bit of inspiration if you need to do the same. Gonna run this package to the post office before they close.
All with myself.
Good morning, it is Wednesday and I'm just finishing up some apples from my breakfast. I was supposed to have 2 client calls and then a discovery call today, but the 2 clients that I was supposed to meet with ended up having some life stuff come up and both of them incidentally needed to reschedule. So I have a bit more time in my day than anticipated, and I think I am going to use this time to go out for a nice coffee walk. Gonna walk down to one of my favorite coffee shops. It's a bit of a hike, so it's not somewhere I walk most days, but I have the time. The sun is shining. I think it'll be the perfect opportunity, and then I'll probably also try to knock out some Christmas shopping just online, a few things I need to order for family members when I get back before that discovery call. And I also need to remember to put the broth away that I started on Monday. That's been going pretty much this whole time. I'm cooling it now. I need to remember to put that away. And we'll see what else we get up to after that. I don't imagine you can see it on camera, but the icy fog has left this really wild thick frost on all of the trees. And it looks like right now it's snowing. It's falling off the trees and it looks like it's snowing even though it's bright and sunny outside. Tell me this is not the coolest thing ever.
Small drip coffee. Definitely. Do you want any rooms for free? No, I'm free. Thank you. What's a good name? Sally.
I'll tell you a secret. That being certified definitely is not the best coffee in town. Their drip's pretty solid, but honestly, I'm not a fan of their espresso. However, I just think it's so cute and it's such a vibe to walk down and get coffee and look at the books, and their little pastries and baked goods are phenomenal. They are part of a restaurant group, or I guess owned by the same restaurant group that owns a restaurant here called The Wilder. Actually, 2 of my favorite restaurants in town. I just recently tried the second one, but The Wilder is like an Italian, but like fresh Italian place. They do really good pizza, kind of a limited menu, but everything on it is truly phenomenal. And then Wild Child is a little burger joint, and they do duck fat fries, phenomenal burgers. It's like what a fast food burger wants to be. I imagine it's what Samuel and I were talking about this. We're like, we feel like this is what McDonald's fries and burgers tasted like when McDonald's first started. But anyways, they use really high quality ingredients and they're just so good. So if you're ever in the area, I would definitely recommend checking out one or both of those restaurants. Wow, it felt good to get out for such a long walk. I think I ended up doing like 5.5 miles all said and done. I also picked up a book from one of the little neighborhood libraries. It's so sweet. They have the little neighborhood libraries all over town, and you can actually find pretty decent books in them. So I said a couple of videos back that I have been loving like mystery thrillers, and I think this is kind of like a modern classic in that department. It might be a little dark for me, but I figured I would give it a try after I finish the book I'm currently reading. I am currently reading on my Kindle a book called The Marriage Portrait. I can't remember who it's by. I'll see if I can find it while I'm talking, but I have been loving it so much. It's definitely worth a read. It's historical fiction, and also a bit of a mystery, set in Italy in like the 1550s and 1560s. The Marriage Portrait, go back, show me. It is by Maggie O'Farrell. Definitely recommend checking that one out. But I have worked up quite an appetite, so I'm going to make some lunch. Just gonna keep it really simple. I have some homemade pulled pork barbecue that we pulled out of the freezer that I'm going to heat up. I think I'll just have that with some romaine with that ranch dressing I have been eating throughout the week. I just got off an awesome discovery call and then did some onboarding for the new client. Super excited to have her on board. And I did put that bone broth away. I promise, I just totally forgot to record it. Samuel and I are heading out for a date night now, and you are not invited. So I guess I will see you tomorrow. Rather early this morning for a meeting with, I think it's the coaching director at the Mecca, which is the gym that we go to here in Boise, talking about potentially partnering with them to provide some seminars, potentially in some other ways as well. We'll see if that ends up happening. I think there are a lot of things that kind of have to fall into place in order for that to become a reality, but really grateful to have just been able to have that conversation and for this woman's enthusiasm, because that's something I've kind of had in the back of my head for a long time. And it's exciting to see that there is interest on their part, and that could be realized. Y'all saw me pick up a loaf of sourdough from the co-op. This is Acme's, a local bakery that they just distribute through the co-op. Ideally, I would have baked my own bread, but haven't been baking a lot recently, haven't been eating a lot of bread recently, and I wanted this for lunch, which I'll show you in just a minute. So this is a good alternative, really high quality sourdough and delicious. And then I just got off a client call as well. So all that goes to say, it is time for lunch. For our date night last night, we tried out this Ethiopian and Eritrean restaurant. I don't think I've ever had Ethiopian food before. I've had other varieties of African food, which understandably, it's a massive country. There's a lot of variation. And Ethiopian and Eritrean food seems to be very unique. So I really wanted to try, if I can show you, this dish that is called, I'm probably butchering this. Listen, if you are Ethiopian or Eritrean, forgive me, because I'm probably about to make a fool of myself. But I think it's called kitfo, K-I-T-F-O. And it is like an Ethiopian version of, what is the word? Tartar. I love carpaccio. Tartar, the texture of it isn't my very favorite, but I like it fairly well. I love ceviche, and I was just going to die if I didn't try this, so I fully sent it. I kid you not, they gave me like a pound of meat, but it is raw beef that is ground with ghee and with spices. It is very cardamom forwards, and I'm so glad I tried it, but I will say it was a little much. I think actually just the cardamom was probably messing with me the most, because I love cardamom, but I'm so used to it in like a sweet context that having it in this savory context, I wasn't quite certain to do with it. Also, so this is the traditional bread that it comes with, and that's central to a lot of, or I guess all of Ethiopian cuisine, if I was understanding it properly. And it's a gluten-free flatbread made of something called teff flour. It's very tasty, but it's kind of the same texture as the kitfa. And I don't know, I felt like it just needed to be on really crunchy bread, which again, I understand this isn't authentic. Please forgive me. So I was thinking I would probably like this a lot better if I got a piece of sourdough toast, like really crunchy sourdough toast, and spread a thinner layer on top. And it also isn't super acidic, which I was expecting it to be way more acidic. And I don't know what kind of acid would be good to put with it. I also don't know if that would be total sacrilege, but anyways, I'm gonna try smearing this. I might need to warm it up just a teeny bit. There's clarified butter with it. I think I said that, but I might try smearing just a little bit of this on toast and see if I like that better. Okay, that is a totally different experience. I could absolutely get down with this. I think it being cold actually makes a massive difference, and then just having the crunch of the bread. It's almost like a pate sort of situation. This is really good. I only filmed about half the day yesterday, but that is because there wasn't much to show for the second half. Samuel and I just went on another walk, finished up some loose ends with work, and then had a very chill evening. We were both just feeling really wiped out. Don't know why, but thankfully feeling full of energy today. I am actually gonna go ahead and end the vlog here though, because my main objective for today is to get this vlog edited, and otherwise there is not too much going on. But I'll just say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and until next time, bye y'all.